She made me the joke at every party. So I ended the wedding. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in today. I've got a real story to share with you. One about respect, love, and the moment I finally chose myself. My name is Nathan. And if there's one thing I've learned the hard way, it's this. The moment someone you love becomes comfortable disrespecting you, especially in public, you owe it to yourself to walk away. No explanations. No drama. Just walk. I was engaged to a woman I thought I'd spend my life with. Her name was Rachel. We dated for 3 years. It wasn't perfect, but I thought no relationship ever really is. We had fun, shared dreams, and weathered a few storms. I told myself every couple goes through that. That love meant sticking it out. But there was one thing I kept ignoring: Rachel's humor. It wasn't just loud or bold, it was sharp. And too often it was pointed at me. Started small. She'd call my wardrobe dad fashion, or joke that my job wasn't ambitious. Nathan's not building an empire. He's building a retirement plan and a recliner. I'd laugh it off. Everyone did. I mean, I didn't want to be that guy who can't take a joke. But over time it became a pattern. A joke here, a jab there. Especially when we were around her friends or family. And every time I brought it up, she'd brush it off. Come on, babe. Just jokes. Lighten up. But they weren't just jokes, they were little cuts. And eventually they started to bleed. One Sunday at my parents' barbecue, my dad half-joked, "Hopefully I'll get a grandkid before my knees give out." Everyone laughed, including me, but something about it stuck. Not just the comment, but the life Rachel and I were building. I started asking myself, is this what love is supposed to feel like? Am I holding on because it's love? Or just familiar? Rachel was magnetic. Charming, witty, loud. She walked into any room and owned it. And I admired that. Until I became the joke she used to get laughs. I'm not the loudest guy. I value calm over chaos. I'd rather stay in with a movie than shout over music in a club. But Rachel, she thrived in the spotlight. In the beginning I thought she was helping me grow. But over time I realized she wasn't pulling me forward. She was dragging me into someone I wasn't. Still, I gave it time. I told myself she'd ease up. I even sat her down one night, quietly told her how some of her jokes made me feel. Small, humiliated, like I was always playing the fool in her show. She didn't get defensive. In fact, she actually listened. Said she didn't realize it hurt me. Said she'd stop. And for a while, she did. Those next 2 months were the best we'd had in a long time. She was still funny, still her, but she kept the jokes above the belt. I started to believe again in us. I even proposed. She said yes, and we were off, planning a wedding, booking venues, laughing again. I thought we'd turned a corner. Then came the housewarming party. A mutual friend had just moved into a new place, and Rachel was excited. I wasn't much for parties, but I went because she wanted me there, and because she'd changed. Or so I thought. The first hour went fine. Drinks, light chatter, familiar faces. Then, in the backyard, she slid into the conversation and said, "Have you heard about our first trip together? It was a disaster." She laughed. Everyone listened. And then she told them her version of the story. She painted me as this helpless man-child who got food poisoning from a taco and cried on the bathroom floor. "Rachel, please rub my back, it hurts," she mimicked in a whiny voice that sounded nothing like me. Everyone burst into laughter. I smiled, but it was fake. Then she added, "That's when I knew I was marrying someone who can't handle spice, responsibility, or himself. Pray for me, y'all." The laughter got louder. But something inside me went quiet. I wasn't just embarrassed. I was erased. Turned into a caricature so she could get a reaction. And the worst part, she never looked at me once. I wasn't in the story. I was just the joke. I pulled her aside after, told her how it made me feel. That it wasn't just a story, it was a betrayal. That she'd twisted a painful moment into something cruel. She rolled her eyes. "Seriously, Nathan? It's a party. Ease up. Don't kill the mood." And just like that, he knew. Not because she told the story, but because even after I told her I was hurt, it meant nothing to her. I stared at her, waiting for some sign of understanding. There was none. So I walked out. No goodbye. No second thought. She didn't come after me. She didn't text that night. Or the next day. A week passed. And when she finally did call, it wasn't to apologize. It was to ask about the guest list and the wedding planner. Like nothing had happened. That was it. I let her finish, then calmly said, "Rachel, I think we're done. The wedding. The relationship. All of it. You don't respect me. And I'm not marrying someone who makes a joke out of me to get laughs." He paused. Then said, "It was just a joke, babe." I cut her off. "I've been the joke long enough." Hung up. Later she texted. Said I was overreacting. That I ghosted her. That she hadn't broken things off, so why was I? Still no apology. Just excuses. So I replied one last time. "Please return the ring." I called off the venue. Cancelled the honeymoon. Told my family it was over. Took the financial loss, but kept my dignity. I used to think being the chill guy meant being strong. Letting things slide. Laughing when I wanted to cry. But that's not strength, it's self-betrayal. Every joke at my expense chipped away at me. I gave 3 years to that relationship. And walking away wasn't easy. But sitting there at that party, being stripped of my dignity in front of people, that was the moment I realized. If I let this slide, I'm setting the tone for the rest of my life. No one should have to shrink themselves just to keep the peace. So yes, the relationship ended that night. Not with a fight. Not with a bang. But with a quiet walk to my car. And a decision to never be someone's punchline again. And I don't regret it. Because in choosing to end that relationship, I finally chose myself. My dignity is not for sale. Not for love, not for laughs, and not for anyone.